Jimmy Butler, very, very simple.
Yeah.
His arrival yesterday, first game there, we get it. 6 of 12 from the field, not bad. No points in the fourth quarter. Certainly wasn't as aggressive as he has been in Minnesota. What I hear from Philadelphia, Max, is they're going to need those shooters. They're going to need those shooters. You have got to get some perimeter help off your bench to produce for you. That tells me Elton Brand, Scott O'Neal, the rest of the Sixers brass, they are not finished. They got moves that they need to make. They tell me, Max, they're not interested in somebody like Carmelo Anthony because he's better off the court than he has been on the court, at least over the last couple of years. They get that. But I'm telling you, Max, they're going to have to do, I don't care if it's a Kyle Korver, I don't care. So you got to find somebody that can shoot some threes that join Redick with
and by the way,
you got to find
trade, which I say, look, the best player, the team that acquires the best player in his prime in a trade always wins. In the NBA, that would be the Sixers. However, Saric and Covington, in that situation, you think about AD when he had Boogie. He was even better with Mirotic because he was a tall guy who could shoot. Well, now Karl Anthony Towns has that. That's going to be interesting if Covington and Saric do what they're supposed to do.
I got you.
Right? Okay.
All right.
Jimmy Butler's presence, if you want to focus on Butler, I think the big story is look at Karl Anthony Towns without Butler. I think the big story, if you're going to focus on Butler and the Sixers, how many times did Ben Simmons shoot the ball last night? 6 shots? Something like that can't be. That cannot be. 5 shots? That cannot be.
But that's him.
But at a certain point, if Butler, part of what makes Jimmy Butler a great player, and he's a totally excellent player, is that his self-view is that he's a star. So in the playoffs last year, you saw him taking some shots where you go, Jimmy Butler, you're not good enough to take that shot. Maybe if you're, look, Kobe Bryant shouldn't be taking shots like that in his prime, but he could take them and hit them. But you're not Kobe Bryant. But his self-view is that he's that kind of guy, and that makes him great. But it can also take away from other players on the team if you're not careful. In the pecking order of that team, Butler needs to be third.
No. Well, we get that. We understand that. But you also have to understand this, Max. Even though, theoretically speaking, you have a point, it's important to recognize what Ben Simmons and what Brett Brown might view his value as being. Stay with me here. If you're Ben Simmons, and let's say, for example, of course, we're not comparing him with Magic yet, even though he could be Magic. The bottom line is this. Magic to Magic, an assist was a shot. You see what I'm saying? So, in other words, when you look, you can't just look at the numbers and say, Jimmy Butler took 12 shots, but Ben Simmons took 5, right? No, what you can sit up there and look at this. How many assists did you have? He only had 6 assists last night. That's not good enough. I personally think that Ben Simmons should take 12 to 15 shots a game. But I also understand that he's your ultimate playmaker. He's a matchup nightmare, just like Stan Van Gundy told us yesterday. The shots that he could create. If you look at Jimmy Butler, let's say, for example, Jimmy Butler gets 20 shots and Joel Embiid gets 25 shots, but Ben Simmons takes 10. But he's responsible for the additional 10 they took. To him, that's like taking a shot. So I don't really mind it. Depends on how it happens. I'm saying you got to get that extra shooter with Redick because I've lost faith in Markelle Fultz. I'm hopeful. I'm prayerful that this, because I'm rooting for the kid. But I've lost faith.
There's no
We're also
doubt.
going to talk about his draft class later.
There's no doubt Philadelphia needs shooting. Of course they need shooting. I'm with you on Simmons as Magic Johnson. Ben Simmons is LeBron James light in certain ways, right? In many ways. Better handles. LeBron James does everything else better. But that's quite a standard. Ben Simmons has genius-level court vision, passing ability. Like, he sees the game differently than almost everyone.
Which is why I'm saying you can't judge the 5 shots.
But Magic Johnson also averaged 19, 20 points a game.
But you know as well as I do, there were times where Magic Johnson took 5 shots in the game. Or less, because I got Kareem and Worthy and Byron Scott and Cooper. Oh, by the way, I got to feed Rambis and Michael Thompson.
Be games like that.
There's going to be games like that.
But what
this is not normal.
Well, we have a sample size of 1. So all I'm saying is way too early for us to make grand generalizations. What I'm saying is, that's fine if that's here and there, that he takes 5 shots. That cannot be a regular thing. And if Butler's presence on the team suppresses Ben Simmons' scoring offense, that's not going to be a good thing.
I agree with you there, but he's just got to. I think they just got to get another shooter. They got to get it bad.
Or a couple of shooters.
They got to get it bad.